Hey, hello. My name is Margareta Hedin, and I'm a Stockholm-based astrologer. I have the great honor now today to speak with Johannes Vasco Lockwood, who comes from Denmark, and he is an astrologer as well. And the reason why I have reached out to him is that because I have the great honor to uh, be the person who started with Stockholm's first international astrological conference, and that's the reason why I have invited fantastic, interesting persons from all over the world. And Johannes, he's the Danish man, so maybe you can tell us little something about yourself, Johannes.
Yes, my name is Johannes, and so nice to meet you all. And I'm looking so much forward for the conference. Not only is it a fantastic lineup, but I'm sure there's also going to be some really fun and interesting people showing up. So I think secondarily, it's going to be we're going to learn about astrology, but primarily we're actually going to enable ourselves to socialize astrologically. I mean, it's going to be so fascinating to meet so many people that have the same interests.
Yes,
Uh,
it is. And it's a joy for the heart. This is the great heart opener. You find brothers and sisters that you didn't know that you had because they are in the soul. But also, we are going to invite people to listen to us. And you, Johannes, you are going to stay there on the stage the first thing in Sunday morning when we are having Mars on the ascendant. And you are going to speak about astrology and masculinity. Can you tell us about that?
of course, yes, and it's such a great honor. I mean, the thing is, there are so many women in astrology. They are attending workshops, courses, retreats, and it's fantastic, obviously. But there is this natural question that arises: where are all the men? Um, so it's unlikely that they're not interested in psychology or growth or a deeper meaning. I don't believe that. So one has to ask the question, is it something inherent in astrology? Or is it the way astrology is practiced? Or is it how we communicate that makes astrology a non-safe space for men? So in my talk, I'm gonna present some findings. I'm gonna do some philosophical, inspirational pointers about how we can create a astrological community, a way of talking about astrology that includes all people, also the men.
Yeah, but I think I include men. I have a lot of guys coming to me.
But then you're doing something correct. I mean, I can just speak from my own experience, and I can speak for all my colleagues in Denmark and the people that I'm talking to across national borders. Like, I would say, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm experiencing, 90% of people attending sessions, lectures are women in
Yeah.
astrology.
I can tell you that from the members of the Organization of Professional Astrologer, they have also edited a book uh, where you can find some facts. I think that 80% of the members, or is it 78 or 80, something that number, are female.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, and that's interesting, and I especially think that those men that are there, they tend to be quite older men. So I mean, at least in Denmark, the men there are uh, in astrology, they are yeah plus 70. So there's a generation gap there as well. Very few men between the age of 20 and 35. A lot of women between the age of 20 and 35.
yes, yes, that's true. But I'm thinking that we must open up here. And I think that when we are referring to the older men, isn't it that the older men, they were born in the 40s, like Rick Levine, for example, who going to be our great star in the conference. He was one of the first people who he studied Jungian psychology when he was in his yeah, he's 76 now. So so in the 70s, but he was also studying to be engineer. So he was one of the first, not alone, but together with other men, they developed the first astrological software. They also were the ones who wrote all the books and developed the Western astrology to what it is today. And I'm thinking that since astrology and the hippie movement and flower power generation, it came more or less the same time. Maybe it was became little bit shameful after that to be new agey, to be soft. We got another manhood, don't you think? After that,
I think you're absolutely correct, and I think Rick Levine's generation has been obviously super influential, and still they are still super influential. And there are some men that are almost born in the same year. There is Rick Levine, there is Adrian Duncan, there is Derek Seagriff, all influential. As
Stephen Forrest,
Stephen
Robert
Forrest, same
Hand.
year. Yes,
I
yes,
mean, all
yeah,
all of the
yeah,
interesting authors. And I'm
exactly.
also thinking in Liz Green, and she's not a man, but
No, no,
anyway,
no.
the right generations. And anyway, but that those books are the foundation in what we are studying now. So we are just followers, and it was they who opened the doors for us. And that's also why I think it's going to be so interesting with Rick Levine in the conference, and also with you, of course, because you are the new generation that we're
Yeah.
going to be the bearer of the culture.
Yes, I hope I'm gonna be the bearer of the culture,
Yeah.
and and yeah, so it's gonna be super interesting. It's also gonna be super interesting to listen to Rick Levine. I mean, he is my top two favorite astrologer of all time. Stephen Forrest, Rick Levine. I don't know who is the most uh, fantastic astrologer like that has been the most influential on my life. But it's, I mean, it is a a gigantic once in a lifetime experience to for all of us to be able to listen, taking in Rick Levine's words, and not even his words about some random subjects, but if you actually look and read the description of the things that he's going to talk about, it's so interesting. He's
Yes,
going to talk
he's
about he's going to talk about what what is it called, quantum physics, right? He's going to talk about how why is it astrology is working, because like, to be honest, oh, well, I'm just going to talk for myself, but I don't know why astrology is working. I know that astrology is working, but it's very difficult to know why astrology is working. And Rick Levine actually has a proposal that takes a deep-rooted intellectual position based in quantum physics. Highly interesting, highly interesting.
Yeah, it is. But now we have to focus on you, Johannes, because you are the theme now. And I wonder, can you tell us how is your working days? How is your life rolling? So you are seeing customers all days. I also know that you are having this internet magazine, the Stjärnorna, eller Stjärnen. How do you pronounce it? Stjärnorna?
Well, stjernerne, and in English it's
Stjärnorna. Ja.
stars. Yes, yeah. So I have a very interesting working day because I'm not just a singular identity astrologer. Like, I do a lot of things. I do client work, and I have educational groups, and I'm the chief editor of the oldest astrological magazine in Scandinavia. So it was first published in 1956. And I took over the magazine 2 or 3 years ago, and I did a completely Plutonian death and rebirth transformation. I was like, hey, we don't need more hierarchical, top-down educational platforms. We need some Aquarian, democratic way of discussing, verbalizing, living astrology. So I transformed the magazine into a platform where people come every week. There is a talk where people get together and verbalize astrology. They don't listen necessarily, but they're being forced gently to verbalize astrology in order for them to live astrology. So the question was, how do I spend my day? Well, I often go to the gym actually, and then I do my astrological analysis there. I have a moon in Aries, so I have realized that I print out all my clients' charts for the week, and then I do and I hit I hit the gym, and then I put up all the papers of the charts, and then I do the astrological analysis there. When I'm done working out, I run back home in good Aries manner, and then I turn on my computer. Then I meet people online doing my client work,
So
and then
where
I
do you
write
have your
articles.
sun then?
But my son is in Libra, but
Uh-huh.
I have a very
A-
isolated. I have
And
a very
what's on the
isolated.
rising?
But sorry,
And the rising ascendant?
it's Libra as well. So I'm double
Libra,
Libra.
Libra, and
Yes,
the moon. Okay. I'm
yes.
Aries, um, by the way. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
We're supposed to focus now on our conference and what, because we want our listeners now, they would like to know what they can learn from your conference. So when they are coming, I want you to bring us back to the stage there, the 18th of April in Plåtpalatset, Liljeholmen, where we're going to see Johannes perform on stage, the leading, he start the first talk of the day, and
Yeah.
you're talking about masculinity. And I think we have covered this, haven't we?
Well, I think so. But I think so what people will get of listening to the talk is an understanding of the archetypal way of understanding masculinity through the lens of astrology. I'm gonna talk about some of the known planets, Saturn, Mars, the Sun, and
Yeah.
how they might portray masculinity. But I'm also gonna pinpoint some of the more underground or lesser known dwarf planets within the astrological field, like a very interesting dwarf planet called Maki Maki, for instance, that are portraying masculinity in a very new and very interesting way.
That's going to be great. We are looking forward to that. So, how do you feel about coming to Stockholm?
I love it. Like,
I love that you love it. We're going to
yes,
have so much fun.
I think
Yeah,
it's going to be so nice. And I mean, I have such a good feeling about it. I think there's going to be so many interesting people. And I'm going to go full on Libra in the sense I'm going to talk to so many interesting people. And it's just going to be fascinating. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure.
So we are looking forward to see you there. And thank you very much, Johannes. And see you soon.
Bye
Welcome
bye.
to Stockholm. Bye bye.